Hi, this is Eric Lofholm. Welcome to my weekly radio show, Continuous Sales Improvement, the weekly radio show. I'm thrilled that you have made the decision to join me today. And I've got a special show for you today where I'm going to be teaching you a concept called the Digital Hub Strategy. So that's going to be the focus of our show today. And this is a strategy that Steve Jobs was behind. And Steve Jobs, of course, was one of the founders at Apple with Steve Wozniak. And he essentially was kicked out of Apple and he went on to do many things, including Pixar. And Jobs bought Pixar from George Lucas. Not a lot of people know that. And so he took over Pixar and he became a billionaire with Pixar when Toy Story came out, and he took the company public at that point. And Apple was really struggling, and they were on the verge of bankruptcy, and they asked Steve Jobs to come back. And Jobs was actually the CEO at Pixar as well as Apple at the same time. And this might have been the only time this has ever been done in history where you had a CEO of two major companies simultaneously. And when Jobs came back to Apple, they had hundreds of products. And they, like I said, were on the verge of bankruptcy. And Jobs created a concept called the Digital Hub Strategy. Now, before we get to the strategy, as you're watching the content today, I'm going to teach you this concept three different ways. I'm going to teach it to you how Steve Jobs did it. I'm going to teach it to you how I'm doing it right now. And then I'm going to give you some ideas of how you can do it. I want you to be open to super genius ideas coming into your mind today as you watch this content. And as you're hearing these ideas, ask yourself this question. How does this apply to me? How can I take this concept and apply it as is or apply a hybrid of it? And that's where I came up with my version of the Digital Hub Strategy. Now, I'm making a prediction. I'm right in the process of unleashing this concept on the world, and I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to be doing it. And I'm predicting that my version of the Digital Hub Strategy is going to go viral. And getting something to go viral is very, very hard to do. And so we'll see. Time will tell if I was accurate with this. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. So let's go deeper into the Digital Hub Strategy. So Jobs takes over Apple. They're on the verge of bankruptcy. They have hundreds of products. And Jobs has come to this realization that they've just very unfocused. And he said, we're going to ditch the majority of these products. And we're going to focus on a handful of these products. And it's going to be an integrated approach. And it all centered around the computer. And Jobs said, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to have iTunes. We're going to have music, and it's going to go to our hub, which is the computer. And we're going to have video, and that's going to go to the hub. And we're going to have photos, and we're going to have apps, and we're going to have software. And everything is going to point to the hub. And so if you look on the screen, you'll see an image of the Digital Hub Strategy. And Jobs got it focused, and it worked. I mean, they became the highest valued company in the world based on their stock price. And I'm a living example of the power of Jobs' Digital Hub Strategy in this context. Years ago, when I was married to my first wife, I don't remember if it was her birthday or if it was Mother's Day, but it was time to get her a gift. And in getting a gift for your wife, if you have kids like me, you've got birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day, Christmas, and Valentine's. So, there's 5 major holidays that you're providing gifts for. And if you've been married for a while, you probably have gotten your wife, just about anything that she would want. And so I was looking for a creative gift to get my wife, and I ended up getting her an iTouch. And that was my first Apple product. And it wasn't because I thought she needed one. It wasn't that she was asking for one. I need a gift. So okay, I'll get this thing called an iTouch. And I don't remember what her response was to it, but I remember I really liked it. And so I got one for myself. So that was my second Apple product. And I ended up falling in love with Apple. And so when it came time to get a new phone, I got the iPhone. And when my PC went haywire, I got the MacBook Pro. And then I got the iPad. And so we became an Apple family. And I don't know, through the years, we must have bought 30 different Apple devices. And this was Steve Jobs' vision of the digital hub strategy because the products integrated, it became intuitive for me or you, or if you're an Apple user, it became intuitive to buy Apple products. I remember my son one time saying, "Dad, I need a tablet." And I said, "Why do you need a tablet?" He says, "Well, this is years ago. My teacher said I could bring a tablet into school. And so if I get a tablet, I'll get better grades." And so, of course, I'm like, "Okay, son, well, let's get you a tablet." So I was like, "Well, what should we get? Should we get a Droid tablet or an Apple tablet?" And we got the Apple tablet because my son had an iPhone. So it cost more for the iPad, but it was integrated. And it worked. And Apple became the highest valued company in the world. So I looked at this and I looked at it from a viewpoint of my company. And I said, how does this apply to me? How can I apply the digital hub strategy at Eric Lofholm International? Now, I've been in business for over 20 years. And I've got all these different pieces. I've got books that I've written in. I've got Facebook groups and I'm on LinkedIn. A lot of you, I'm sure you're on multiple social media platforms. I have a YouTube channel. I've got all these pieces, but it doesn't really integrate. And if you buy my book, for example, The System, it's not intuitive that I have a Facebook group. And if you're a part of my Facebook group, it's not intuitive that I have a YouTube channel. And so I got to thinking, how could I apply the digital hub strategy? Is there a way? And so Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, the power of that book to me is the title, Think and Grow Rich. Now, if you're watching this on Facebook Live right now, if you could smash that share button, I would really appreciate it because it will help get this message out to more people. And if you're a part of any groups, if you could smash that share button and share it into a group. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is my weekly radio show. And I do this live every Monday at noon California time. And you can watch it on YouTube and you can watch the replay on Facebook if you're unable to make it live. And thank you so much for joining me today. My hope is that this creates a breakthrough for you because I believe this is going to create a massive, massive breakthrough for me. So let me go a little bit deeper, and then I'm going to give an example of how you can do this and apply it in your business. And so I thought, all right, how can I apply the digital hub strategy? And I said, what's really made the difference for me? If you're new to my conversation, a little bit about my background. I'm a former cook at McDonald's. I'm a college dropout, and I ended up going into sales in the early 1990s, and I was the bottom producer at the company that I worked at for an entire year. I was terrible at selling. And then I got professionally trained and ultimately became the top producer at that company, and then went on to work for Tony Robbins. I worked for motivational superstar Tony Robbins for 3 years, and then in 1999, I branched off and started my current company, Eric Lofholm International. We're a global sales training organization. And so over the last 20 years, I've gotten good at sales training, and then I've gotten great. And now I've got my skill level at an elite level amongst the best sales trainers in the world. And I thought, well, what got me there? How did that trajectory happen? How can it happen for you? How did it predictably happen? And how can you predictably increase your results? And so I thought, what it really came down to was a mindset. The mindset of continuous sales improvement. You see, back in the 1990s, when I was introduced to professional sales training, I started applying myself, learning, reading books, listening to audios, doing coaching programs, etc. And I fell in love with learning. And so I'd get a little bit better at closing, a little bit better at referrals, a little bit better at objection handling. And what I learned was I would have all these little micro improvements. And I learned the pattern of a breakthrough. So here's the pattern of a breakthrough. It'll work for you just like it works for me. We learn, we learn, we learn, we learn, and then we have a breakthrough. We learn, we learn, we learn, we learn, and then we have a breakthrough. And the breakthroughs will never stop as long as you continue to learn. And it's a micro improvement, and then micro improvement, and micro improvement, and then eventually you have a breakthrough. And so I realized that what's gotten me to where I am today, and predictably I'll continue to rise up even further, it's a commitment to continuous sales improvement. And I said, that's the answer. That's the ultimate best sales idea ever. To me, it trumps anything. This one idea of continuous sales improvement, it's a way for any of you watching to predictably increase your results. So I thought, okay, that's my hub. That's the hub of the digital hub strategy, is the idea of continuous sales improvement. And then off of that hub, if you pull up the image on the screen, you'll see there is the book. And so my book is just about ready to launch, called Continuous Sales Improvement. So that book will be, chapter 1 will be available on my website in the very near future. Go check there right now and see if it's there. My website is, of course, continuousssalesimprovement.com. So the hub is continuous sales improvement. Then there's the book, the website, the radio show that you're on right now, the podcast, the movement. So the continuous sales improvement movement is a commitment that you make to yourself. And it is to work on your skills for 15 minutes to an hour or more per week for the rest of your life. And in the very near future, you can go to continuousssalesimprovement.com and look for the button that says the movement. And you can click on it and you can opt in. And by you opting in, by putting in your email address, you're declaring your commitment that you're going to work on your skills for 15 minutes to an hour or more per week for the rest of your life. Now, there's no cost to that. You don't have to pay anything. There's no accountability. I'm not calling you to, hey, did you do it this week? It's just a commitment that you make to yourself. And this is what took me from a cook at McDonald's, college dropout, bottom producing salesperson to an elite professional sales trainer. And this can work for you too. So then we have the Continuous Sales Improvement Facebook group, the Continuous Sales Improvement LinkedIn group, the Continuous Sales Improvement Masterclass, and the Continuous Sales Improvement podcast. The Masterclass is launching the first Thursday in January of 2021. And it's going to be a 4-module course. And I'm going to be teaching 27 of my breakthrough sales ideas over 4 weeks. I hope you'll do the course with me. Now, when I do it in January, if you're watching this after January, I'm going to repeat the course again in February. And then I'm going to repeat the course again in March and April and so forth and so on. And in theory, I'll run it every month for the next decade or so. So here is the power of the idea. If you go to the website, continuousssalesimprovement.com, you'll find out about the podcast. You'll find out about the radio show. If you buy the book, Continuous Sales Improvement, you'll find out about the masterclass. You'll find out about the website. You'll find out about the radio show. If you're on the radio show, which you're on right now, you'll learn about the masterclass. You'll learn about the LinkedIn group. You'll learn about the Facebook group. You see, they're all pointing to each other. And I believe what's going to happen is that this concept is going to go viral. Now we'll see. I'm just launching it now. This is kind of like the launch day, if you will, on today's radio show. And one of the cool things about the concept is the image. If you look at the image on the screen, that tells the whole story. Within 1 minute, just like that, you're like, oh, Eric has a masterclass, a radio show, a book, a website, a LinkedIn group, a Facebook group, and there'll be people that will do all of it. Just like I've got my iPhone and I have my 2 Mac computers that I'm doing this on right now, and we're a Mac family. And once I got that one iTouch, it was game over for me. I fell in love with Mac. Now, enough about me. How did I get the idea? I asked my brain the question, how does Steve Jobs' digital hub strategy apply to me? So let's talk about you. So I came up with this concept called I Love Rocklin. And I want to walk you through this concept, and you can see the image on the screen. I live in Rocklin, California, and I'm a professional sales trainer. But if I was a real estate agent, I would unleash the I Love Rocklin strategy and become the most famous real estate agent in my community, if that's what I wanted to do. This strategy will predictably do that for you. So if you're a real estate agent and you model this, there it is. I'm giving you $1 million right now. Or if you sell cars, you could bring the I Love Rocklin concept and become the most famous car salesperson in your community. Or if you sell insurance, or if you own a Chinese restaurant, or any type of local business, you could take this concept and become the most famous person in your community. Or I used it in my niche to become a recognized professional sales trainer. So here's the I Love Rocklin concept. I got to thinking one day, if I was a real estate agent, I would take the digital hub strategy and I would apply it to real estate. Now, they say that if you use a real estate agent to help you buy or sell a home, then you're not going to need them again for another 7 years. Because it's not like we're moving and buying and selling homes every year. Unless you're a real estate investor, you're not going to have a need for that realtor again for about 7 years on average. So if that real estate agent is sending you content all about real estate, you're not going to be very interested. If you just closed a house, you just bought a house, and this real estate agent starts, here's how you get the maximum value for your home. Here's how you buy property at a discount. You're like, I don't really care. I don't need a house anymore. I just got a house. Check back with me in 7 years. So the real estate agent would have a better play doing a content strategy that would be interested to their customer. So thus the I Love Rocklin strategy. So if I was a local real estate agent here in Rocklin, California, I would have the brand, the I Love Rocklin brand. And I would have the iloverocklin.com website. Now, if that was taken, I would find some other hybrid of the concept. It doesn't have to be I Love Rocklin. It could be something similar. I'd get the website. And then I would have the podcast. Now listen to this idea. I would interview the movers and shakers in my community. I'd go to the mayor. And I would say, hi, my name is Eric Lofholm. My brand is I Love Rocklin. And I have the I Love Rocklin podcast. I'm interviewing movers and shakers in the community, and you're the mayor. And I would love to interview you and get your message that you want all the people of Rocklin to hear from you. So I'm going to record the podcast if you're game, and we'll put it up and I'll promote it out to my network. What do you say, Mr. or Mrs. Mayor? Mayor probably goes, sure. So now I'm going to interview the mayor, and you can do a podcast. A podcast is just an audio file. You can do video too. It's an audio file, and you can do a conference call. So you both dial into a bridge line and you record it, and there's your audio file. You don't even have to edit it if you don't want, and you upload it to your podcast. The I Love Rocklin podcast, episode number 1, where I interviewed the mayor of Rocklin. So now you're going to publish that out, and people are going to listen to it. They're going, wow, that's really cool. Well, what's the mayor going to do? The mayor's going to take that link because it's a shareable link, and they might share it on the mayor website. They might put it on their social media. So what did you just now in effect do? You got the mayor of your town to promote your podcast. Hello? Start imagining the possibilities. So now you go to the owner of the best Chinese restaurant in town. And you go say, hey, would you like me to interview you on the I Love Rocklin podcast? And you can promote your Chinese restaurant. And they say, we would love that. And let's say they have an email list and they have their social media. So you interview them. And what are they going to do with that interview? They're going to blast it out to their email list. and they're going to put it on their social media, and they're going to promote your podcast. And then the next thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a call, and it's from the gentleman or woman who owns the top car dealership in the community. And they're going to say, hi, do you have the I Love Rocklin podcast? And you can go, yep, that's me. Well, I would like to be on your show. And now they're coming to you. Imagine that possibility. So when you do the show, sponsored by your real estate business, your auto sales business, your Chinese restaurant, your fill in the blank. And all of a sudden, you're now one of the power players in your community. You might become the most famous person in your entire community, but it gets better because that's the podcast. So we got the website, we got the podcast. Now you're going to create a YouTube channel. And you're going to go out to the community and you're going to say, hey, I have the I Love Rocklin YouTube channel. It's all about local community events. If you have a video that you would like me to put on the channel, send it to me for my review. And if I approve it, I'll put it up on the channel. So now you have a video about your local business and you send it to me for my review and I publish the video on the channel. And what's that business owner going to now do? They're going to promote the video because it's about them. And so now you get these business people promoting your YouTube channel, but it gets better. On the YouTube channel, you're going to let them know you have a website. On the YouTube channel, you're going to let them know you have a podcast. On the podcast, you're going to let them know about the website. And on the podcast, you're going to let them know about the YouTube channel. But it gets better because you're going to create a community Facebook group called I Love Rocklin or something similar. Now, I've looked at some of these community Facebook groups, and many of them have 3,000 members. 5,000 members, 10,000 members. And who's going to be the most famous person in that Facebook group? You are, because you're the star of the show because it's your group. You're in charge of the group. You're in charge of the content. You get to make the rules. So let's say there's 5,000 people that belong to your community Facebook group, all local people, and you get to cross-promote all of the things that you're doing, including your real estate business. I just made you $1 million. You get to do Facebook Lives in there. You get to bring the mayor on a Facebook Live inside of your Facebook group. But it gets even better because you're going to write the book, 21 Things to Do in Rocklin, California. You're going to talk about other businesses and maybe any things that they can do, entertainment things that they can do, the top restaurants. And you're going to talk about this book, and you're going to make the PDF of that book available for free on your website, iloverocklin.com. And there's going to be a picture of your book on the homepage of your website. It says, to get a PDF copy of this book for free, opt in below. And all these people by the thousands are going to opt into your email list. And you're going to be able to blast out anytime you do a podcast, anytime there's an update on the YouTube channel, anytime you're doing something in the Facebook group. And oh, by the way, your real estate business. You are now one of the power players in your community. And I want to tell you something. If you're watching this right now and if you're seeing possibility, I want to tell you right now, this can work for you. Steve Jobs did it and became the highest valued company in the history of the world at that point. At that moment, based on the stock price, it was the highest valued company in the world. I'm unleashing continuous sales improvement. This is going to become a household name in sales training. Companies are going to bring me in to install the continuous sales improvement mindset into their entire organization. If you own a company and you have 500 sales reps, imagine if I got all 500 of your salespeople excited about continuous sales improvement, working on their skills for 15 minutes to an hour or more per week, every week for the rest of their life. Your company, your sales might double like that. But enough about me. This is about you. How can you unleash the digital hub strategy? My hope is that you're excited about this idea. I'm excited about it. I'm going to go out there and just do some incredible things. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to do an ad spend. I'm going to run Facebook ads and YouTube ads, and I'm going to drive traffic into my digital hub strategy, driving traffic to my Facebook group. And because if they come to the Facebook group, they're going to learn about the book. And if they learn about the book, they're going to learn about the podcast. Part of my big dream is to have a $30,000 a month ad spend, which I believe will bring in 5,000 to 6,000 new leads each and every month. 5,000 new leads coming in, being introduced to the continuous sales improvement movement, and then they go out and share it with others. If you know somebody that can benefit from this message I'm delivering right now, please share this with them. Please share the link or tell them about continuousssalesimprovement.com. Tell them about the podcast. Tell them about my Facebook group. When the book's available, tell them about the book. Help me get the word out. Because you know what's great? What's great is I'm living proof of the power of this idea. If it wasn't for this idea, I would not be training companies and individuals all over the world. This is literally, when I said to myself, I asked my brain this question, Eric, what's your best all-time idea? What made the biggest difference? Of the 1,000 or so unique ideas you know about increasing sales, what's the one idea of all? What's the best of the best? And I said, it's my answer, my true, honest answer is CSI, continuous sales improvement. If you apply this in your life, it'll make a tremendous difference for you. One of my clients, his name is Kevin Hudaba. And when I met Kevin, he was already a winner. He's making over $100,000 a year as a real estate agent. He applied continuous sales improvement to his business, and he built a team. This year, he and his team, he's going to make over $400,000 in 1 year, from a little over 100,000 over 400,000. That's what continuous sales improvement meant to him. Judy O'Higgins applied this idea to her network marketing business, and it took her, helped her build a 5,000 plus person team and got her to number 18 in the entire company. David Laster applied this in his insurance business. And I said, David, what's the idea? All the things I've taught you, what has it been worth to you? He said, I've made over $1 million in increased commissions, Eric, from what you've taught me. This is big dollars, guys. This will work for you. And if you're a sales manager, if you own a company, imagine bringing this into your company. So that's the show today, guys. I'm so glad that you joined me. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your ideas of how you can apply this in your business. I'd love to hear if you're inspired by this. If you're on social media and you're watching this, comment below and let me know if you're inspired. Comment below if you see a way that you could apply this in your life. Comment below if you're going to apply it. Share the show with somebody that you care about. I want to say one last thing and we'll wrap it up. In my Facebook group, the Continuous Sales Improvement Facebook group, I go live every single day for 15 minutes, Monday through Friday, with a little quick motivation to get your day off to a great start. I'd love for you to check it out. You can find all the information at dailymotivationalcall.com. dailymotivationalcall.com. We come to you live every Monday at noon California time. The internet radio show called Continuous Sales Improvement. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Eric Lofholm signing off for now. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.